So, you want to know how to add audio to a PowerPoint presentation? Well, I've got you covered. First off, go to Insert, go to Audio, Audio on My PC, find wherever you have your audio stored, select it, Insert, and now you have this. This is the physical aspect of where your audio is. This represents the audio, and then if you press play, you have audio. Now, you were wondering, how do you play it in the presentation? Well, if you go up here to Audio Tools and Playback, you can press Play in Background, which will toggle all of these to be most optimal for playing it in the background. If you go then to Slideshow and start it up, now your presentation has audio. But you probably want the slides to move with it. Now you have two options for this. You can either go through all the tedium of getting each slide to move after a certain time interval, or you can do what I recommend personally, and you can go to Slideshow and press Rehearse Timings. When in rehearse timings, it'll play your audio as you'll hear it, but you can press Next Slide and you'll see the time interval here is slowly increasing. Whenever you press this button, it's saving the amount of time that you're lingering on that slide. So now if we keep going, you can see it tick up, and then when we can pause it, if you ever need to do something else or you feel like you're unable to do it, you can pause it to get a quick break. And then if you X, it'll ask you it'll say your total time, but then it'll ask you if you want to save your slide timings. If you press yes, the next time you go in to present it, if you wait just a moment, we spend about 5 seconds on this slide. I have no hands on the mouse. It'll transition on its own to your saved timings. Now, that's already pretty cool. But if you noticed in the audio, we'll go up here and review. About here, we have this, but then at the end, there's this slight awkward snippet. If you have that in your audio, you can go to Playback, Trim Audio, and slowly drag this bar back, press play, check time, like see, it's about here on the time frame. If we move this to about here, and then we bring out our cursor, now it will not play that section. It will always cut that section. So now when we play this, we get that. But as you hear, no awkward section at the end. So this is all fine and dandy, but let's insert a second song. Go through your same process, insert audio from my PC, and then this. Now we can go through the same thing, play in background. This one's fine, we won't trim it for now. And now, let's go through our process of rehearsing, like normal, right? Next. And now, on this next one, it should start playing our next song. And it does. However, it overlaps with the previous. So, real quick, we'll just exit here, save our timestamps, and now you may be wondering, how do we get this song to stop on slide 6 and not play in slide 7? Well, I'm glad you asked. If you go to Animations, you can press this button here, Animation Pane. Animation Pane will pull up this sidebar here. We can now select Space Travel, the name of the song on the first slide, and we can go here and to Effect Options. On Effect Options, you have a bunch of fun options that you can mess around with. For example, you can set the amount of time you want it to play. So if you want this song to play for about 20 seconds, you can do so here. Or, what we're focusing on today, you can select the number of slides you want it to play. So it'll play for, at this point, 999 slides. But if we set this to 6 and press OK, the song will now only play from slide 1 to 6. Afterwards, it will cut, and from slide 7 onwards, it will only play the other track. So let's check that now. Let's do one more rehearse. Just listen to the sound. On to the next one. Just kind of skipping around real quick, giving it all its time. One more. And it should stop. And if you heard it there, it suddenly cut. Now, you may be wondering, how does this look? How does this run? Well, from beginning, and I'm taking my hands off my mouse, my keyboard. And if you rehearsed your timings properly, it will just play with the timestamps that you had before. It might take a couple tries to get right, but if you do, everything should run perfectly smooth. If you ever want your songs to stop or loop a certain amount, like we just had there, you can just go and do everything with the animation pane. Now, another thing you can do, like how jarring that transition was, you can add a fade in. This is displayed in seconds. So say we want it to fade in the lo-fi for a second, and say we go up here and select this, and well, it jarringly faded out. So what if we add about half a second of fade out? If we listen through one more time, I'm going to start it from this slide because, let's be honest, we don't want to hear the same slides over and over. Now, it fades in just a little lighter. Now you may wonder, why didn't this audio play? Well, the audio is going to always cue on the slide that this is on. That is important to remember, so if you end up cutting slides, just make sure you move your audio cues. This has been Setting Up Audio in a PowerPoint. If you have any other questions, you can reach out to your local IMTV classroom. This has been